Fanboy, 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 fanboy.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Fanboy Reviews Countdown, where we count down the top 10 video games of all time. That's right, ever since gaming began, these are the greatest, most must-have, top-of-the-line pinnacle of the gaming industry. And if you don't have any of these games, you are not a true gamer. Alright, number 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. That's right, just came out, this year, 2012. Came out for the PS3, 360, the PC, and even the Wii U. The premier first-person shooter of all time. Black Ops 2, man, this grossed over $500 million at launch. That's right, within 24 hours after it came out. Biggest ever launch in any form of entertainment. That means, music, movies, gaming, anything like that. Black Ops 2, it shattered all the records. So obviously it is the greatest video game in all of gaming history. If you've never played this game yet, what are you doing with your pathetic life? I mean, seriously, what's going on here? Go buy this game already. I mean, I spent hundreds of dollars on this game. I bought the 360 edition, I bought the PS3 version, the PC version, and of course the Wii U version, and this game is the most amazing first-person shooter in the world. You gotta be a complete freaking noob if you've never freaking played it. It's the pinnacle of gaming. It's the elite. It's where you go to find amazing multiplayer, incredible graphics, innovative gameplay, year after year. Activision publishes these incredible FPS games, and they never disappoint. So that's number 1. But we keep moving on to number 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. That's right. This one came out 2011, just last year. Came out for the PC, 360, Wii, original Wii, and the PS3. At the time when this came out, you're talking about $400 million at launch, So that back then, that was the biggest launch, biggest, highest grossing form of entertainment. So at that time, it was definitely the top biggest game of all time. It was the biggest release, and obviously the setting, Modern Warfare 3, man. You gotta give props the way that they're able to continuously, year after year, refresh and keep these games afloat and keep this series at the top of the gaming mountain, at the top of the gaming totem pole, because of their incredible innovation, because they always try something different and something new. The graphics are so much better than any other games when this came out in 2011, better than Mario Galaxy, better than Halo 3, better than Gears of War 2, than God of War 3, and all these craptacular, stinky games. Modern Warfare 3 is just better. Alright, number 3, Call of Duty Black Ops. Yeah, this is the first Black Ops. Came out in 2010, just a couple of years ago. Definitely Game of the Year of 2010. Easily, the best game of that year. Compare that to, like Assassin's Creed, Brotherhood, and all these other crummy games. You got I believe God of War 3 came out earlier that year as well. So there's, a bunch of tripe that came out that year. Just not nearly as impressive, not nearly as good as Black Ops. You gotta understand, Black Ops was the first of its kind, okay? It was a throwback to the old school, style setting of the Call of Duty franchise. Love the... It was very nostalgic too, because it felt very familiar to the earlier COD games. It had that familiar kind of gameplay. mixed with something different, you know, in terms of like the settings and the environment. So Black Ops was just a huge step up and a leap up from like the previous installments, and it's just a much better game than any other frickin' title that came out in 2010. I mean, come on, give me a break. If you haven't played the first Black Ops, you are completely missing out on the best experience of 2010. Alright, number 4. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. This one came out in 2009, that's right. Highly anticipated game. I remember, you know, 3 years ago, before this game was about to come out, and it was like the highest anticipation, the highest hype of a game I've ever seen at that time. You know, everybody wanted a copy of this game. You know, the biggest launch at that time. It was very similar to a movie. And I remember like listening to radio stations and stuff like that that wouldn't even normally talk about video games, that talked about this because it was such a big release. Of course, when it came out, it didn't disappoint. It exceeded every expectation. You know, much better than any game that came out in 2009. Definitely Game of the Year of 2009. Better than, you know, Assassin's Creed 2. Better than, I believe, like, if I'm not mistaken, you know, there's so many other games like Arkham Asylum, you know, 2009. I think Uncharted 2 came out in 2009 as well. So much better than those games. You know, those games stink. They're not really fun. Nobody likes them, and nobody bought those games. Hence why Modern Warfare 2 is just completely superior. And do I have to talk about the multiplayer? The online is still being played today. You know, 3 years later. That is the longest reigning online service in a video game of all time. You know, 3 years? That's a record. That's a record. Alright, number 5. Call of Duty World at War? Oh, man. Came out in 2008. This was definitely another awesome first-person shooter. This is just amazing. I mean, they just keep pumping out these incredible must-have FPS. But yeah, you know, 4 years ago, World at War was the greatest game of 2008. Game of the Year, 08. It far exceeded anything that came out in 2008, you know. Because it went back to the roots of Call of Duty. It went back to that awesome, you know, awesome, like, style of the settings of, like, the World Wars and all that stuff. And the weapons, you know, it was very, like, a mix of the classic feel of the earlier CODs and this new age direction that, you know, Call of Duty's, that very cinematic style. Better than any 08 games, you know, better than Little Big Planet, better than Dead Space, you know, it just goes on and on. Better than Sonic Unleashed. I mean, really? You're gonna compare Sonic Unleashed to World at War? It's not even freaking close, man! Alright, number 6. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. That's right, the one that really kicked it off for the current gen. Incredible, highly praised game. Easily, you want to talk about Game of the Year of 07. This is the Game of the Year, and might be the Game of the Century. You know, 07, man, 2007 was like a banner year for Call of Duty, because they dropped this gem on us, this incredible killer app. It's a killer app. Thank goodness that it was available for, you know, all the systems at that time, you know, all the consoles, at least the next gen ones, and you were able to enjoy it on, you know, it wasn't an exclusive to a single console, which made it really stand out. That's why COD has always been, you know, superior to all these crappy first-person shooters like, you know, Time Splitters and, you know, GoldenEye and, you know, Halo and all this other crappy games, because it has better graphics, better presentation, it feels like a movie, so it's got this movie budget Hollywood feel to the games, and it's just a much more polished, you know, first-person shooter, whether it's multiplayer or single player. It just goes on. Number 7. Call of Duty 3, that's right, from 2006. COD 3, man. What more can I say about COD 3? Now, I got this on the PS2. It also came out for, like, the next-gen systems, 360, I believe the PS3, and the Xbox original. So, I mean, this game was one of those like transitional games where it came out for all the like the last gen and the current gen. Fun multiplayer, fun single-player campaign, awesome weapons. It takes place in World War II, you know, so it's got that vintage feel as well. So it definitely takes you back, very, very historical, you know, history. You get to relive these amazing past battles, man. I mean, it's such a great tribute to those veterans and the heroes of World War II. It just makes me tear up. You know, every time I play this game, you know, I cry. I shed a tear for all those incredible battles and those heroes. All right, number 8, Call of Duty 2 from 2005. Oh man, you know, I've mentioned before that sequels are always better than the original. What more can I say about COD 2? It improved upon so much, and you know, it added that, you know, that pointer towards the grenade when a grenade's about to hit you. Incredible graphics, great presentation. It was Game of the Year of 2005, hands down. Innovative, completely took it to a new direction. Set in the World War setting, you know, World War II, I believe, and a lot of action. Easily the best game of 2005. I mean, you want to talk about like the best first-person shooter. I mean, it destroyed anything that came out in 2005. You know, you take a look at all these crappy games, man. Nothing compares to Call of Duty 2. Alright, number 9. Call of Duty 1, the original, from 2003, that's right. Ah, man. This is the first of a legacy. The original is always the best in a series. I've mentioned it before. I've already spoken about this. But the first game in a series, it sets the bar, it sets the standard, and it's the measuring stick that everything else is compared. It is the one that is the first impression. And COD 1, you know, how many awards did this game win in 2003? Game of the Year. You know, it was predominantly a PC game. You know, it was a PC game, and then much later, you know, it would come out for the 360 via Xbox Arcade, Live Arcade, and the PSN for the PS3. So it's more of a PC game. So at this time, you know, it's not really a console franchise, but eventually it would be. But it was definitely, it got its roots in the PC and completely demolishes crappy-ass Medal of Honor. You know, I mean, Medal of Honor was just a complete rip-off, a complete knockoff of Call of Duty. I mean, it's not even close. This World War setting that they try to copy, man. Call of Duty 1, man, they perfected it. They perfected it. And number 10, to round out this list, Barbie Horse Adventures Riding Camp. Oh, man. You know, this one came out in 2008, came out for the PC, the DS, the PS2, the Wii. Basically, it's an open-world game with kind of horse racing, so you're playing as Barbie, this open-world sandbox, you're training the horses and feeding them in these related equestrian activities, and, you know, you're trying to find lost items on this island. You know, you're fixing broken things and items, and you get to travel around this island on a horse, which is like, that's amazing, you know, that's like groundbreaking. We've never seen that before. We've never get to play as Barbie in an open world game. Barbie is a freaking icon, you know, the most iconic toy doll in history. You know, without Barbie you wouldn't have like G.I. Joe, you know, you wouldn't have Transformers or any of this other crap. Barbie's the originator, man. A legend amongst legends in the toy industry and also in the gaming industry. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the top 10 greatest video games of all time. And if you haven't played any of these titles, if you haven't bought them, you're definitely not a freaking gamer. And if I saw you walking down the street, I would completely laugh in your face and just like tell you to buzz off, man. I mean, you gotta play these must-have titles. Better than everything else you played. Better than Mario. Better than Zelda. Better than Halo. and all this freaking nonsense, nothing compares to all this top 10. So that's pretty much it for this episode of Fanboy Reviews. And until next time, keep fanboying.